You already know what it is. Effing Around podcast. Got the homie Kodak.
Yes, man. It's your boy Kodak. Kodak 3D on Instagram. J Cruz on air on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe. Effing Around podcast on YouTube. Let's go.
All that. All right, listen. First topic. Let's get straight to it for today.
Yeah.
Shooting in Mesquite.
Yes, it's shooting in Mesquite. Teenage guy. They stole a car. Then it was two cars. A silver car was stolen. They were following the silver car. The police just so happened to be on the same street. They pull into a gas station. The police keeps going. He gets a call saying stolen car, silver such and such. He turns around. He goes to the silver car. No one's in it. He sees the kids coming out the store. The car that was following him. He goes up to that car. He tells everybody to get on the ground immediately. I think like 2 or 3 of them start running.
Yeah, like two. I saw 2 in the video. Like they see the cop with the flashlight approaching the vehicle and they run.
Right. So they start running. The one in the black car, he's still in the driver's seat. Police tells him to turn the car off, throw the keys out. He doesn't. He puts the car in reverse. The police has his gun out, legs up against the bumper, following the car backwards in reverse.
At one point, I just see his hand on the hood a little bit.
Right, hands on the hood. Stop. He's backing up. So he backs up. Police. Then he puts the car in drive. Now at this point, when he puts the car in drive and goes a little forward, the police legs are still up against the car. He shoots him. Once he shoots him, you see the car kind of roll, so you kind of tell he's either hit or whatever. So, which they're trained to shoot to kill, not trained to wound. Of course, he could have done more, other things. Shot the tires out. He could have done all that, but it's just unlikely for the police to do it. So, I guess my point is, man, it's a lot of instances where we have this the police shooting unarmed black males. Unfortunately,
was he unarmed or armed?
Well, they found guns in the car, so I don't know if
in the car that he was in, right?
In the car that
I read armed.
Yes, so that would make him armed.
Yeah, if it's in the vehicle, yeah, no.
Yeah. Did he have it actively in his hand? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I just feel
okay.
Like,
so let me hop in from the video that I saw. Right. It didn't seem like the young man in the car was very aggressively driving the vehicle. Like even when he was backing up, he wasn't. Even when he put it in drive and he moved up, he was like nudging up just a little bit, and like you could tell the cop. He kind of like stepped back a little bit when he first moved forward, like a step or like when the car moved a step or 2 forward.
Right.
He like kind of like backed up slightly a little bit.
Right.
But he did then obviously fire into the car.
Right.
I think only once or twice. I'm not sure of the details with that.
I think it was 3.
Oh, maybe 3 times.
I think 3 times.
Obviously the child lost his life.
Right.
Right.
So it was a big march yesterday. 18 years old. March yesterday. I think Lee Merritt has picked up the case. It's a lot of these, well, really in the last, 8 years, it's been a lot like more televised about, the shooting, white cop shooting black male. You had the George Floyds, you had the stuff like that. I guess my point is in talking about this is, criminal-wise, like for someone that's done crime myself, I knew at some point I was going to run across the police. Now, they have a license to kill. No matter how you want to slice it and dice it, they do. You run, it's known in the hood. You might get beat up once you get caught. Not saying it's right. It's just that now that I don't do crime, I don't have a lot of interactions with the police, period. Right. I just don't. And I think when we start these marches and stuff like that, I just think that if we focus on the people like Philando Castile, Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old boy playing with a toy gun in the park. like any other kid in America. And the police roll up, matter of seconds, gun him down, they get acquitted. We should still be focused on cases like this, not cases where it's actual crime being done and then the man has a gun on you. I don't want to get shot. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care how gangster you want to put yourself as to be. I don't want to get shot. I don't. So police tell me, hey, I'm caught, man. I got to go to court. I got to do my day in jail. I got to have my time in jail. That's just what it is. But you got to know, I think if he would have kept that car in reverse, it probably been not justified that the cop shot him. But the moment
if he would have just kept reversing,
if he kept reversing,
going away from the police officer, right? The argument that I'm in fear of my life would have been a lot more difficult.
It would have been a lot more difficult to prove. But the moment you put that car and drive toward him, then you kind of you put yourself in the judge and jury right there.
Yeah, you put yourself in a position where this cop's now going to have in our justice system a justified reason for shooting you.
That's true.
Right? Because you put the car and drive, and at that moment he can kind of, or his lawyers can prove like, hey, his life was in danger. That he could have ran over. Now, from watching the video, he didn't aggressively put the pedal to the floor and try to peel off. It was very like he just tried to nudge forward a little bit, almost like, yo, cop, get out of the way, I'm going, just get out of my way. I don't want to hurt you. Again, this is me just painting a picture in my own mind. Yes. I'm speculating here, right? I don't want to hurt you, officer, but I'm trying to get out of here, right? So he's nudging. Now the officer in his mind, do I think the cop should have shot? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so, right? I don't think the kid was that aggressively pulling forward that he deserved to get shot, right? Like you said, shoot the tire, shoot this. Now, in hindsight, it's easy to make those suggestions, right?
Yes.
But in the heat of the moment, I heard an officer recently got stabbed because he didn't react quick enough. Cops die because sometimes they give people the benefit of the doubt and then they end up getting shot.
There's no way for him to say, well, he's just nudging. There's no way for him to read the mind of this person. You don't know if he's going to take off. Once he get, you don't know if he's going to get desperate enough to take off. I'm gone. Run you over. Because you are, I guess in my mind, if I was a cop, I am the barrier between him going to jail or going home.
Right. Or a lot of them do argue too that this person peels off and starts speeding down the highway, you can endanger somebody else. So for instance, let's say this, and I'm just painting a hypothetical. The cop doesn't shoot him. He gets out of the gas station. He starts doing 90 on the highway, loses control, hits another car full of family, and now that family's dead. I know.
Or kill the people that still, because there was people still in the car with him. Or kill
there's people in the back of the car.
There's people in the back seat. It's people in the back seat. It's people it's a person in the passenger seat. So
I don't think there's any. When he opens the passenger,
not in the passenger seat. I'm corrected. I stand corrected. It was someone in the back seat though, because you can hear them saying, "No, bro, no." So you can hear them in the back saying, "No, bro." So it's people. It's other
like you can hear them telling him, "Don't pull off, just chill."
Right.
Because what was it? It was a stolen car situation.
It was a stolen car. The silver car was stolen, and they were.
It ain't that serious, cuz. It ain't that serious. It's a stolen car. I mean, like I said, you've done crime. I've done a little bit of crimes. My thing is like, it's not that serious. Like, I get it. Like, if you just murdered somebody, then maybe I could see you being that desperate to try to get away from that situation. But it's a stolen car, cuz. Like, I get it. You might even have some priors on your sheet, but I'm just saying it's not worth it, especially in this age when we see these stories every single day in our communities, how cops a lot of times get away with over aggressive, militant type of behavior, license shoot to kill type of situations, and they get off on it because they say my life was in danger, and the judge is going to give the officer the benefit of the doubt. Judge, I thought I was about to get killed, so I had to shoot, right?
But what do you do in that instance where you're telling the people, one of the people that's involved, that you assume that because they got that power to assume. So what do you tell the person, the cop who's pursuing people that are involved in this crime. You have the car, you have the people following that car. So it's safe to assume and say that they're following a car. The person just called in that the car had been stolen. So if I'm using my common sense, you have to know that the car has been stolen. Not saying you know, I can't make you know, but I'm assume you know,
right.
And I need to. So if I'm saying turn the car off, if you don't have anything to do with it, or you didn't steal a car, I'm gonna say from my perspective, if that was me driving that car, I ain't stealing, but I would try to get away if I got other things going. In that,
no.
So if I got a gun, they found a weapon in there, and I ain't supposed to have a weapon.
Right. Now I'll also argue this, right? As a black young man in America, just being confronted by a police officer with a weapon in your face, you could be. There's a lot of trauma, right? So you could argue that, unfortunately, a lot of young men, black and brown men, when you put them in this situation, they're not going to make the best decisions because there's already a fear of them losing their life no matter what they do. Right, and that to me, that's a substantial argument, right? I get it, and
but so me as a person, like I say, I've been in the streets. I haven't been in a while, but I've been in the streets. And bruh, let me tell you, bro, when the police don't have to stop me. I could be riding down the street, and once I see a police car, I'm like,
yep. I like,
you know what I'm saying, bro? Like,
my hands are up here. My hands is up here.
I'm
not making no sudden movements. Right.
Well, I talk crazy to everybody else, but in front of that police, because I'm trying to get him to do whatever he gonna do and leave me alone. Yes, sir. No, sir.
And calm down. I don't want him to be scared of me.
My high goes away. My drunk goes away.
Right.
I've been through it all. So if you got a gun, I don't want to die, J. Cruz. I don't want to die.
No.
So if you got a gun on me, my life is more than just going to jail.
Oh, hell yeah.
My life is
especially
more
if you got that gun pulled on me. You got that gun facing to me and you're giving me instructions.
You got the license to kill. You got the license to kill.
And you're giving me instructions. I'm going to follow those instructions. I'm going to follow.
Yes, sir.
Again, I just said a few minutes ago, I don't think the kid was pulling off aggressively enough to where that cop's life was in danger. I don't. I think he shot. He did, but in my opinion, I don't think he needed to shoot in that situation. I don't think the kid peeled off hard enough. He was like just nudging little by little, and the cop shot him, right?
And I don't think he helped himself.
He did not help him, obviously.
So that's what I'm saying. I get it. Like,
and if you hear his own people in the back of the car talking about, nah, man, chill. That's even more like the people in the back are telling you, yo, just chill.
Shot the tires out, so you can't go nowhere.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
In police training, they do teach you shoot center mass because and here's the reason, because I interviewed the whole Dallas police panel one time. And they said, Cruz, this is what people don't understand. When you say shoot at a leg, shoot at their foot, shoot at their arm, bullets ricochet. And if you don't shoot center mass, if you try to shoot a smaller target, like a leg or a tire or something smaller, and that bullet bounces off of whatever you just shot, if you miss, and it hits an innocent bystander, now what?
You're liable.
Right, you're liable. This person, and even if you do get off, you just killed this innocent person who was just there because of your ricochet bullet, because you didn't shoot center mass. And that's what they say in training is the main
they went
reason
to training, right? So they automatically go to training.
I obviously think all their police officers need way more training. It needs to be way more difficult to finally become a cop. Mental training, all that shit. I'm for all that. Police reform, like new ways of doing it, all that shit, right? Watching that video, if you ask my opinion, I don't think that cop needed to shoot that kid. I don't, right? He didn't need to shoot at that moment. That kid wasn't being that aggressive, even if he was pulling forward. But do I see the cop having a case to say, yo, he started moving forward. I thought he was gonna run me over. Boom. Like, it's just, it's gonna be almost impossible to not side with him as a judge or maybe a jury.
As far as evidence, as far
as like evidence, right? Like take feelings out of it, right? Take feelings, just be rational, just straight up rational about that kind of decision. If my kid's in danger and you put it in drive and I'm not sure if you're going to be aggressive or not, I'm not taking that chance with mine, right? I'm going to take you out. So with his own life? Is he entitled to that as well? Any human is, right? But when you're a police officer, there's more responsibility. You're not supposed to care. Yes, if that kid was white in that car, would he have gotten shot? Maybe not, for sure. You know, and these are the realities that we live in. But like you said, being a black man, a brown man, you see what's going on in the world today.
Yeah, so being a black man or a brown man, like being that, and I don't want to, you know, like I say, man, when I did crime, I had more frequent instances with the police, man. Now that I live like I live, it's very rare. And then on the contrast, when I get stopped by the police now, because I am so legal, because I am living
You're
like
not riding dirty.
Now,
yeah.
No, and I'm not riding dirty. I am more, I'm gonna say not aggressive. I don't want to use aggressive, but I'm more assertive in how I talk.
Listen.
My stance with the
my
police.
God.
Like,
listen, unless I got a little bit of tree.
I got things to do.
Yeah. Unless I got a little bit of tree on me or something, I'll be like, yes, officer, what's the problem?
Right.
No, you do not have a right to search my car. No, there's nothing in here. I got somewhere to go, officer. Can you give me my ticket so I can get out of here? Right. Like I'm not F you or none of that. But I'm more assertive with this.
I'm more assertive with my speech as far as like hurry up.
The interaction.
I got things to do. Yeah. If it's speeding, you stop me for, write me a speeding ticket
and let me go.
Whatever it is you stop me for, let's get on with it. I got things to do. Don't hold me up.
Twice in my life, I denied search of my vehicle. Because he pulled me over. Once was for like a speeding ticket, the other one was some other kind of violation. And at the end, they always try to get you with that. Hey, do you mind if we search the vehicle? And people sometimes get nervous. They hear that and they don't want to seem guilty. So they're like, sure, you can search the vehicle. I was like, absolutely not. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go to work. Like, what do you mean search my vehicle? For what?
You don't have to have nothing in it, but no,
they can ask that. They can just ask that, right?
Get a search warrant. We'll wait here 3 days. Get a search warrant.
So let's wrap this up. What are your final thoughts about this whole situation?
I just, like I tell my sons, man, just don't do the crime. It'll lessen your contact with police. And if you do happen to get pulled over by the police unjustly, then it makes it stick out like a sore thumb. But if you're out here doing crime, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Period. That's the end of it. I grew up in the hood, in the projects, in poverty, on Section 8. I grew up in all that. And now, at these days, we have a lot of access to things. And I tell my sons adamantly, if you do crime, you put yourself on the chopping block in order to be beat up, shot. Not saying it's right, but if you ain't doing nothing, if you're not doing nothing and the police beat you up or shoot you, it sticks out like a sore thumb and you'll come out on the winning end or will come out of the situation. But it lessens the contact. It lessens the contact.
It does. Do you remember the guy who wrestled with the officer's gun and ended up dying?
Alton Sterling.
Was it Alton Sterling? Was he the one that wrestled, tried to get the cop's gun? Like, he was fighting with the cop. Remember that?
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, man, where I grew up, if any of my homies came up to me one day and said, yo, so-and-so was fighting the cop yesterday and he ended up getting shot because he tried to take his gun. Nowhere in my mind would I have been like, oh, that's injustice.
That's injustice.
I would have thought, what the hell was he thinking, cuz?
What's he thinking?
Right? Because
bro, you're not gonna do like
growing up where we grow up, we already got targets, right? So it's like, wait, so the cop confronted you and then you beat him up and tried to take his gun and he shot and killed you? No, I'm not saying, and I think that's one of the reasons the whole Black Lives Matter movement started. That was the one case that actually like sparked a lot of it. And I'm thinking to myself, again, I'm not, you don't have to agree, but I always used to think to myself, is this actually the case that should spearhead this movement? Not to say there's not other cases that should spearhead it, but the one that the homie tried to fight the cop and take his gun where I'm from, we're all like, damn, did that dude, did he want to die that day? What's going on? Right. Like, what was going on that day?
Bro, they have cases like Philando Castile.
Yeah, that was terrible. Oh my God.
Pulls him over. He says to him, he's a licensed gun carrier. He says to them, I have a gun. He says, where is it? It's there. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. The guy pulls his gun out and shoots the guy. Yeah. Those are the cases.
Right.
Those are the cases we should champion.
That we should fight for justice.
Yes.
Right. Not for
the difference between this and George Floyd is, okay, George Floyd was a criminal, all that. But the difference is it was, 4 to 5 cops on this guy's, one guy's back. One guy's back, and you got
I don't care what his right. It was plain as day.
So that's the difference. Now, even though he was a criminal, he did not deserve to die on that ground that day.
Not like that.
Not like that. You could have. It'll take 5 people on his back to subdue him. So that's the difference between this. But bro, if you put a car in drive and you go towards the cop is standing there with the gun in your face, and you put the car in drive, that vehicle becomes a weapon.
Period. No, for sure. And I don't see this. I do actually see this cop getting off on this because I mean, that's like you said it. At that vehicle, you put it in drive, you start moving forward, even if it's a little nudge, which, and in my opinion, he didn't need to shoot him, but the argument is there. The self-defense, the in fear for my life, right? You gave this officer literally
you gave him no other option.
No other option, but also you gave him the argument in court to win this case. You made it easy for his lawyers to argue.
Just go to jail. If it's a gun, if it's a stolen car, they can't keep you forever for a stolen car.
Yeah, just go to jail, cuz.
Just go to jail, dog. Go fight it. If you're not driving the car, you're not driving the car. So you're not even the one driving you driving a legal car. They didn't say the black car was stolen. They said the other car was stolen. So go to jail, fight the case, but you live.
And I'm gonna say this. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of this young man.
For sure. And Nobody should lose their life.
I don't want this conversation to come to seem insensitive. We are from the outside looking in. If that was my cousin or my child or I might not be speaking like this right now. I might be furious and saying, no, he killed my son. It was murder. And I totally can understand that point of view coming from a loved one, someone close to him, or even somebody there. But in today's world, we're allowed, we're having a discussion of what we saw, and this is our perspective. So no disrespect again to anybody who knows him.
No disrespect at all. But I'm gonna say this: if it was my cousin, it's times that if we've looked at dudes in the hood, and that nigga ain't gonna last. It's times that we have looked at in the hood that, hey, he's gonna grow up and do some dumb shit to get in trouble because he's doing dumb shit in front of our face. So I'm not insensitive to loss of life. I don't want anybody. I don't want to lose my life, and I don't want to take nobody's life. But I am a realist when it comes to this. When I have been caught doing crime, man, I go do my time and come home. And
I've had officers pull that gun in my face, man. That's it. At that point, once he pulls that gun, I ain't doing nothing. I'm
not bucking nobody with a gun. It ain't got to be an officer.
For sure. I've been in that situation too, where a dude pull a gun out, and you be like, yo.
If you got a gun in my face, you got everything. I live to get that shit back.
For sure. I remember my younger brother one time was doing he shouldn't have been doing. He had a piece on him. And when he got confronted by the police officer, the gun fell out of his pants onto the ground. And his dumb ass went to go reach for the gun. And the cop was like, bro, if you move one more inch, you're going to die.
I'm trapping.
He gave him that,
I'm trapping in Pleasant Grove. Police busting the door. I'm thinking, so I'm always on a swivel. When you're trapping, you got to be on a swivel. So I'm thinking somebody busting the door. It's not the police. Bro, they bust in that room. I got a .357 in my hand. They say, gun. He got a gun. I slid that bitch clean across the floor. No, I don't.
Right.
And I was waking up. I'm not
a threat. Right.
I'm waking up, and I had to, the presence in mind to say, oh no, I don't, bro. I don't care who it is. I've been robbed before. Man, you can have all this shit. I can get this back. I get it. I get it back anytime. Yeah, but what I'm not gonna do is I want to live. So I'm not going to put my life in your hands and load the gun for you. You already got the gun.
Give you a reason.
I'm not going to give you a reason to kill me.
No, absolutely not. Yo, this has been a really good one, Kodak. Effing Around Podcast. Make sure you follow me, Jay Cruz, on there. That's JKRUZ on air. You see it on that Nike ball, because I play ball.
Kodak 3D on all platforms, man. Hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe. That shit is free. Liking and subscribing is free. That shit costs you nothing.
And we're gonna be dropping some clips, some highlights of this podcast online, and then we'll post the full
2024. We promise to bring you more content, frequent content. We promise not to take these breaks.
And we're gonna have some guests on the show.
And we're gonna have some guests, man, because I like what we have, and I think we should do more and more guests and bring more content your way. So like us on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, StreamYard. Like us on everything, man. Effing Around Podcast. Kodak 3D, J. Cruz.
Chunk of cash, bitch, at them sat down the streets. And I rep BTG everywhere that I be. You know I'm a beast and I ain't got no leash. Got the